Hey everybody, Jeff here, and welcome to a game I am very excited for, a game that is very near and dear to my heart, The Legend of Zelda from 1986, original Legend of Zelda. I love this game. The Zelda series is probably my favorite game series ever, and this installment is probably in my top 5 games of all time, top 3 Zelda games. Gotta stop saying first off. I love this game. I love Zelda, I love this game, I love everything about it, and I am super excited to be doing this. I do love that they give you all the items that you get in the game in the opening scroll, whatever. It's cool, it's like an extra manual. What happened to manuals, by the way? When you used to buy a game, you would get a cool little book. You could read it on the way home while your parents were driving you to see all the stuff that was in the game and get the story, and now you get nothing except for some, I don't know, maybe a warranty slip or something? I don't know. This game had a great manual. Speaking of, please look up the manual for details. Let's see, we're going to go elimination. We're going to start a fresh game. This game came out in 1986. It began development in 1984. It was a launch title for the Famicom Disk System in Japan. I'm gonna go Link again because obviously it's Link, but I like making it stupid. Famicom Disk System in Japan to show off its capabilities. When it was released in America, it set another video game milestone. It was the first game ever released with a battery in the cartridge. Before this game, you could not save your game. If you turned it off or you died and you had to start over, you started at the beginning. With Zelda, we have the very first game where you have save files. So that was a huge deal. I mean, just... Can you imagine trying to do any modern game without having to start over every time? It's not doable. Another fact, this opening screen in the original development and testing phase, Link started out with the sword. Playtesters were confused. They were confused by the branching paths in the dungeon and the branching paths in the overworld, and were unsure of what to do. Instead of giving instructions, adding directions into the game, all the developers did was take away the sword, which forced them to do more exploration, which is what the game is about. We're gonna head in here and get our sword, actually. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. Thank you, old man. So we got our wooden sword. The game was developed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka, and the music was all done by Koji Kondo. So let's head towards our first dungeon. The theme you're hearing right now, the Zelda Overworld theme, most people know it as the Zelda song. Originally, Koji wanted to use... I can't remember who did it, but it's a famous piece of orchestration called Bolero. And you would know it if you heard it. It starts out with a drum like... And it's like... Bum, 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 ba-da-da. That's not quite it, but you'd know it if you heard it. He found out, like, way into... Okay, we got a shop. Way into the development cycle, he found out that... Oh no, the copyright had not quite expired on that yet. So, he scrapped it, and in a single day, he wrote the arrangement for the Overworld theme, which would become, like, the Zelda theme. This song has appeared in almost every Zelda game. I think it's not in Ocarina of Time, and it's not in... Oh, what am I thinking? It's not really in Breath of the Wild. You can hear hints of it in places, but it's not really in it. And that'll be a recurring theme. This game set a lot of precedences that are carried on and referenced not only throughout gaming history, but in other... Oop, we got levers. I hate these guys. Oh, okay, there we go. This is one of the only games where you start out with the beam sword. I think you have it in this game and you have it in Zelda 2. I think it was a good idea to get rid of it in later games because, one, it would make it too easy. Like, say, if you could shoot lasers from your sword, not Ocarina of Time right off the bat. And two, it would be too difficult to program in a three-dimensional game, I think. Ooh, watch out. Those guys are Octorocks, who are a staple Zelda enemy. Almost every basic, not bosses, but almost every basic enemy that you get in this game appears in following titles in the series, except for one. I think there's only one basic enemy that never appears again. We'll make a game out of it, see if we can spot who that enemy is, because I do not know who it is off the top of my head. So here we have our first dungeon. I think this is the Eagle Dungeon. And you'll find I know my way around this game pretty well. We're going to get a key right here. Another classic Zelda enemy, Stalefoses. Little skeletons. There's our key. Beam! Yeah, that sword just gives you superpowers right off the bat. And again, just listen to that music. God, I was probably not quite on right there because I have the TV really low, but I love it. Oh. Okay, so we are in our first dungeon. Shigeru Miyamoto got his inspiration for these dungeons from a memory from his childhood. Getting lost in a maze of sliding doors in his family's home. And he took that memory, because Japanese homes, traditional Japanese homes, they don't have a swinging door like we do. They have a sliding panel door. And he took that memory and he designed an entire game mechanic around it. Another fun fact, all of these dungeons were designed on graph paper with pencil. He took graph paper and he just squared out the entire screen and squared out the room where the walls were and designed the entire dungeon and all its traps and enemy layout that way. He even designed drew the enemies down to the pixel using that method, which is very, very Dungeons and Dragons and very cool. Got another key. You'll notice, you can see up in the top left corner below where it says level 1, there's a little green dot. That's where our map will be. When we're in the overworld, it's a gray screen, and the green dot represents the screen that you're on. So it gives you an idea of how big the game world actually is. You can see we have started making our own map, but once we find the compass in the map, that'll all fill out. Well, once we find the map, it'll fill out. The compass only shows us where it's either where the boss room is or where the Triforce is. Looking at where we are now, though, I think if we go this way, we get the... What do we get? Do we get the level's weapon? No, we get the compass. Okay. So we gotta go a couple screens up to get the weapon, which is, for the first dungeon, I believe we get the boomerang. Okay, so there's our compass, and you can see now we have a little blinking red dot in the map area. That's where, like I said, either the boss or the Triforce is. I can't remember the name of the boss for this dungeon. It's a green fire-spitting dragon with a little like unicorn horn and little wings. It's not Gleeok. There's two dragons in this game. One of them is Gleeok. This one is... Oh, I can't think of his name. I'll put it in here. He's going to come back later on in the game as a mini-boss in a separate dungeon to kind of show you, how powerful you've become. What was once a final boss of a level is now just a mini-boss. Alright, this door leads to an old man room. Same old man that gave us the sword. There we go. Eastmost Peninsula's the secret! So he's in every dungeon, and a couple other places, giving you these quote-unquote clues. However, they're usually either so vague that they're useless, or there's a translation error and they don't make any sense. So this is telling me what it's saying is there's a secret on the eastmost peninsula, which if we're in the overworld and we go all the way east, somewhere over there there's a secret. I believe it's a heart piece. Heart container, I should say. But who cares? We're in the dungeon right now. And there's our map. Come on. These little dudes are called bits. They can combine together and form a larger version called bots. And map. Okay, so there we go. Yep, this is the eagle dungeon, because you can see it kinda looks like an eagle. And that red flashing dot is in fact where the Triforce piece is, not where the boss is. The boss is in the room right before it. We're gonna use our key and go this way because in the next room, that's where we get the boomerang. And the boomerang gives you superpowers in this game. It's ridiculous. Come on. Come on. Oh, damn it, they hit me. There we go. Oh, and I got bombs too. Awesome. So one of the... Okay, let's switch over to the boomerang right away before I accidentally use a bomb. And flip. This is one of the only games, actually probably the only game, where you can get bombs right off the bat. You can buy them in a store, or you can get them whenever an enemy drops them. It's kind of random. There's no dungeon that gives you them as an item. There's no chests in this game like there are in later Zelda games. There are no chests. There are no boss room keys. None of that stuff. No heart container, or heart pieces for that matter either. There's only heart containers, which is cool. But yeah, like I said, boomerang gives you superpowers. It freezes enemies, which makes dealing with these guys really easy. Here we have another Zelda staple, Stale-foes, our skeleton buddies. What do we have up here? The boss room's over there. What's up here? Oh, more. Ugh, God, I hate the boomerang guys. Damn it. Oh, get that, get that, get that. Okay, so boomerang freezes dudes temporarily. That stopwatch thing is awesome, though, because it permanently freezes them as long as you're in this screen. So they will not move anywhere. It makes clearing out big rooms really easy. Let's see, we got one key. Oh, this is a trap room. There we go. Alright, gotta trick these things into... No! Oh, God. Whew. That sound again appears in... Oh, that's right. We get the bow here. Oh, come on, get him. There we go. I forgot we get 2 weapons in this level. But if I remember... We can't use it yet. Yeah, no. We can't use the bow because we don't have arrows. And arrows work really weird in this game. You'll see what I'm talking about when we do get them. That beeping is the game letting me know we only have 1 heart left. It does not go away. It does not get less annoying. But we have everything. Yes, everything in this dungeon. So we can head for the boss room. Like I said, it's not Gleeok. Who is it? Oh, it's a longer name. Like it's whatever. I said I'll put it up. I'll put it up. Hopefully we find some hearts between then and now. If you have the beam sword, he's really easy to take out. But if you don't, it's a little bit more difficult. We might die. Oh, key. Oh, okay. These guys used to scare the crap out of me as a kid. These are wall masters. They come out of the wall, and they grab you, and if they catch you, they take you all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. Which is super annoying because it respawns all the enemies. In a dungeon like this, we're not too far, so it's not that bad. But if you're trying to get to the boss fight without losing any hearts, it gets really difficult. Not fun. Alright. Okay, hold on. Let's listen. Where is it? That sound is the roaring of the boss. It lets you know that he's in the next room. I'm assuming they included it for ambiance reasons, but also if you get here and you don't have the map or the compass, it lets you know, hey, boss is in the next room, watch out. So let's take him on. Yep, see, fire-spitting dragon with a little horn and little flappy wings. He is a pushover. He does not leave that side of the room, and if we stay right here, he can't even friggin' hit us, see? We can just, whoop, that one would have done it though. Okay. Oh, a fairy and a heart container, nice. Alright. We got 4 life now, and our first piece of the Triforce. So we have the mission in this game is kind of unique, and it doesn't get repeated until, oh, what am I thinking of? Wind Waker. We're not collecting anything that'll let us open up a final area. We are, okay, so Princess Zelda was captured by Ganon, and in order to keep him from getting his hands on the Triforce of Wisdom, she split it up into 8 pieces and hid it throughout the land. Why she hid it in dungeons filled with his minions, I do not know. She is apparently not that bright in this game, but whatever. That's our mission. Now that we're in the overworld, back to some game info. Miyamoto got his inspiration for the overworld from when he was a child. Again, another childhood thing. He would... Give me that, thank you. Oh, God. As a kid, he would explore the fields and forests and hills of his hometown, which I believe is Sonobe, just outside of Kyoto. Ooh, there's a secret here somewhere, but we need the candle to get it. And I think the candle, I don't think we can afford it. Oh, that's not great. Because I think we need it for the next dungeon. And the next dungeon is just a little bit east of where the last dungeon was. But yeah, he would explore the fields and forests of, surrounding his hometown. And one day it's conflicting things. He either found a cave or a lake that he wasn't expecting to find. And he was blown away by it. Like, he was amazed that he would never have found this cave or this lake. I think it was a cave. He never would have found the cave if he hadn't been out exploring. And at first he was afraid to go inside it, but he eventually worked up the courage to go, walk inside it and explore. And there wasn't anything interesting in there. But the idea stuck with him of making his own map and exploring, a region. We need... Oh, wait, no, that's the store. We need to see how much that candle is. 60. We do not have that. Okay, we gotta grind a little bit. Stop giving me fairies. Give me rupees. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I remember. Okay, so this game was developed concurrently with Super Mario Brothers. There were... Miyamoto had 2 game design ideas in his head at the time. He wanted one game that had a very set structure. You started, you continued, that's how the action went. Set start point, set end point, with a scoring system. That game became Super Mario Brothers. The other idea he had was pretty much the exact opposite. A starting point, but no specific end. You can immediately go anywhere. It's not a point A, point B system. It's all about exploration, and there's no scoring. It's about completing the game. That is what you're going for. And that became The Legend of Zelda. He wanted players to communicate, like I said, with the sword at the first screen. He wanted the players to communicate with each other. This game is huge. Like I said before, the gray square at the top, oh, come on, don't, represents the world, and the green square represents the screen you're on. God, we're not at 60 yet? You're kidding me. So it's a huge game. And he didn't want to hold the player's hand, so there's no in-game direction, really. What he wanted were people to talk to each other. Which you need to do, especially if you don't have the manual with the map in it. Like I said, the manual has a very robust map, and you can basically beat the game using just that. If you're smart and you draw on it. Know where everything is. But the main idea was get players talking. Kind of crowdsource solutions to problems. So it'd be like, hey, I can't figure out where this other dungeon is. You know, and their friends like, oh no, it's right here. You just go to this part of the map and you move this statue or whatever and it's right there. The whole thing was about getting players to talk to each other, which the idea stuck with him, and eventually years and years and years down the line, it would be the premises behind Animal Crossing, which I've played like 5 minutes of. I do not care for. But Zelda facts. We are almost, oh come on, almost there. We should get, hopefully, no, maybe not. Come on, just give me rupees, I just want the candle. Since we're just, okay, now we got it. Since we're just grinding and fighting dudes, let's talk about the combat a little bit. Combat, you know, it seems fairly simple, right? Link, he just doesn't swing his sword, he just stab, stab, stab. You have up, down, left, right. They move around, you hunt them down and stab them. You can't use the shield physically, you just have to be pointing in the right direction to block whatever's coming at you. That does not stop enemies from bumping into you and hurting you physically that way. Which is a big deal at the beginning of the game, because you only have the 3 hearts and that beam sword really helps. In a lot of ways, though, you would think the modern games with the more robust combat systems would be more difficult. I consider this to be the second most brutal game in the series, to be honest with you. Buy something, will ya? Yeah, let's get this. Give me this blue candle. I like how the shopkeepers vanish as soon as you buy something, as if you're about to find out the product is garbage and they don't want to have to give you a refund. So now we have our blue candle. We're going to head towards the second level, second dungeon, but first we're going to grab a secret. There are a couple secrets hidden in this game that are, you just have to find them. They're not listed anywhere. There's no hint anywhere. You just have to find them. Which is where talking to other players... Nope, oh, I'm in the wrong screen. I thought I was there. I need the boomerang still. Is where talking to other players comes in. Because when this game came out, there was no internet. There were no strategy guides. I think the first 700 copies... Here we go, it's here. The first 700 copies of the game shipped with codes that let you sign up for the Nintendo Power Club or the Nintendo Fan Club. One of these bushes has a doorway under it. It was like a monthly newsletter that would give you tips and tricks. This game was so popular that demand for entry into the fan club went so high that eventually they abandoned the entire fan club idea and just... it evolved into Nintendo Power, which, if you grew up playing these games, you know how valuable Nintendo Power was. There's a full magazine of tips and tricks that you couldn't get anywhere else, because there was no internet, like I said. There were no game facts. I should be keeping track of which ones I'm doing. Oh, there we go. That was lucky. Take anyone you want. So this is a really stupid question. We have two items. We have a heart container and a potion. That heart container permanently increases your maximum life. The potion you can use twice to refill your hearts, but once you use it, it's gone. Once you pick either of them, the other option disappears as well. I cannot imagine how pissed off a kid would be if they went with the potion instead of the heart. Because like I said, he vanishes. He's gone. So there's no getting that heart back. Which is, I mean, just face value way more important than the potion. The other issue there is that the number of hearts you have is actually important in this game. Which is a thing we... okay, hold on. I gotta get my bearings. Hold on. Dungeon 2 is just a little bit east. Excuse me. How do we get there? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, it's a gameplay mechanic that does not rear its head again until... Oh, excuse me. Breath of the Wild. These guys. These are peahats. I hate these guys. When they're spinning like that, you can't hurt them. And I didn't realize it as a kid, but it's because they're flying in the air, so they're actually above you. Even though, you know, it's a 2D image, you can't tell. I don't know why I'm still going after them. Just get me out of this screen, please. I want to go up. Yeah. Heart pieces, having a certain number of hearts to unlock a certain thing isn't an issue after this game until Breath of the Wild. So basically 30 years. I'm pretty sure that's underneath this stone is a warp door. It's a little staircase, takes me down to a room, and there's 3 other staircases, and they bounce you around at different points in the map. You know what, while we're here, what does that look like to you guys? That stone. Some people say it looks like a squirrel. Some people say it looks like a snail. When I was a kid, the first thing I thought of was it looks like a snail. So that's still what it most looks like to me. But I definitely see the squirrel. Somebody make a poll somewhere. Is it up here? Nope, fairy fountain. We want to avoid that. Those fairy fountains will restore all of your health, but you have to beat another dungeon to respawn the fairy. Oh, okay, I think we're... Oh, Tektites. I hate these guys. They're so random, and their movements are so janky. Especially if you don't have the beam sword. Oh, they are a nightmare. I think we have another store. What do we have? Oh, well, there's where we get our arrows. And like I said, they work weird. We'll come back to that. So, heart pieces, or heart containers. When you get... Upgrading your sword is dependent upon how many heart containers you have. You get 2 sword upgrades in this game, and each of them are gated to how many... The game says, like, how skilled you are, but what it means is how many heart containers you have. And if you don't have enough, you can't get the sword. So if you miss out on those heart containers, and then you can't get the sword, you gotta wait until later in the game when you beat the bosses and you get the heart containers that way. Which pissed me off so much. Oh, damn it. Okay, here we have another classic Zelda enemy. The Moblin. These guys have been in dang near every game. They usually resemble, at least up through Link's Awakening, they resemble these pig dudes that you're seeing here. When they appear in Ocarina of Time... Nope, still going the wrong way. Oh, wait, I think there's a... I think there's another secret heart piece up here. When they appear in Ocarina of Time, yes, there is. They are huge. I think they're only in one point in the game after the Lost Woods. in the Sacred Meadow Shrine or Sacred Forest Meadow, and they just basically patrol hallways. They go down pretty easy, but they're in every game. Eventually they get replaced, at least in numbers, they get replaced with Bokoblins. They appear more often, and the Moblins become these kind of bigger, tougher versions. I'm pretty sure the secret door is right here. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, I know this game. Take anyone you want. Yes, I'll have the heart piece again. Thank you. Whew. Alright, let's find that second dungeon. Sorry. Dry throat, coughing. What were we talking about? I don't remember. Oh yeah, the heart pieces. That mechanic comes back in Breath of the Wild. You can't get the Master Sword until you have a certain number of heart containers. In fact, if you try before you have it... Ooh, oh, dang it! I'm pretty sure you die. Link dies if you don't have enough heart containers and you try to pull the sword out. So, not a good time. The other way this game ties into Breath of the Wild is that this game is... Like I said, the design idea was that you go anywhere, you explore. We went straight for the first dungeon. After you get the sword, if you want, you can go straight for the second dungeon. You can go straight for the third dungeon. Oh, we are not going the right way, though. It's really up to you. There's only a few points in this game where you need a specific item to pass a dungeon. And it's usually the ladder. So once you have the ladder, you can do pretty much anything. You don't see that in a Zelda game again. No, we don't need any of that. You don't see that in a Zelda game again until Breath of the Wild, where once you beat the opening area, you can head straight for the final boss if you want. Which is one of the reasons this is one of my favorite games, is that you can just explore and look wherever you want. I am so turned around right now. Oh god, arrows. This way? No. Bear with me, folks. It's here somewhere. It's just a little bit northeast of us. Well, now it's pretty much just north. We just gotta find the path and outrun that arrow. I think it's this way. I think. Yes, here we go. Okay, we got it now. I would have liked to have gotten here with more heart pieces, though. Ugh. Okay. Uh-oh, watch out. We gotta watch out for these guys. All these statues are Armoses. And if we touch them, they will come to life, and they are very fast. It's not fun. Alright, Dungeon 2. This is either the Snake Dungeon or the Moon Dungeon. I'm not sure. Oh, well, okay, we got snakes. You would think these are called snakes. They're not. The game manual lists these guys as ropes. R-O-P-E-S. How cute is that? Alright, so what do we got here? Oh, there's a lot of them, and I do not like these guys. They're too fast. Let's ignore the key door. Oh, this is gonna be a bad time. Whew. See, the problem is you never know when they're gonna charge you. There we go. Where are we? All right, we've done we done did a square. god, so many of them. Oh, get it, get it, get it. Get it, come on. Oh, whew, thank God. Oh. I remember there are certain rooms in this dungeon that are just a pain if you do not have, full health. All right, where are we? Let's use our key. Let's go this way. Oh, we just got, okay, there's our compass. These bits are nice because you can just hit them with the boomerang and they're gone. Alright, so that... Oh, it doesn't show on there. That's where our Triforce piece is, so we gotta head up. But yeah, this game is a big part of my childhood. Even though, not only have I never beaten it, I never owned it as a kid. When I was a kid, I had Mario Brothers, I had Duck Hunt, I had... Ooh, oh god, so many boomerang moblins. I had Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Time Lord, Tetris, a couple Ninja Turtles games. I think maybe a Batman game. I never owned this. The first time I played this was at my cousin's house. Shout out to Steph and Tyler. Love you guys. Where are we? Okay, let's head... Oh, we only got the one key. What's in this next room? I would go there usually for a week during summer break, and then for like a weekend during Christmas break. And they own this game. And up until I put this game in their NES, I had only played, oh god. Oop, okay, we got a trap room. Okay, we're switching to bombs. We're gonna see if we can bomb these guys into oblivion. Oh, just one more. Oh yes, there's our item. There's our weapon for the level. Got the magic boom. I know it's weird for the game to give you a boomerang and then the next level to give you another boomerang. I don't care. This is the magic boomerang. It's way better. Do we have it? Did we get it? Oh, we did. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, up until I put that game in their NES, I had played side-scrollers and platformers. I had never played anything. Yeah, you see how far that goes? Like, if the boomerang gave you superpowers, this gives you ultra superpowers. I've never played anything like it. It blew my mind. I was like, there's no way any game could be this big. That there's this much to... Oh god, we are getting just obliterated. That there's this much to do. How do you keep track of anything? Accordingly, I never got very far in this game. One, because, like I said, I only got to play it really 2 times a year. My parents never got it for me. And 2, because as a kid, this game is very vague. It doesn't explain anything to you. Oop, get out of there. Okay, what are we doing? What are we looking at here for the map? It doesn't explain anything to you. Sorry, I was just... It's impossible to get through unless you know exactly what you're doing. And, you know, the other issue, as a kid, coordination, hand-eye coordination, not that great. So fighting rooms full of guys like this is not very easy. So I would die, like, pretty much any dungeon I went into, I would die. So I learned to avoid them, 1. And 2... What is... Oh, you know what? I bet... I want to test something. Wait, no, I don't. I have 2 keys. Never mind. Oh, good map. I'm glad we came in here. Okay, so this is the Crescent Moon dungeon. I only got to play it 2 times a year. So yeah, I never got anywhere in it. What I did was I would explore the overworld. Much in the same way that Shigeru Miyamoto explored the fields and forests around his house, I would explore the overworld map. And just have fun. It was awesome, and it... I would say this game actually had more effect on me in terms of what kind of video games I like, and even kind of what kind of person I am, as far as my interests and things go, than any other piece of entertainment I absorbed as a kid. Like this in comic books. Oh, we got okay, mini boss room. Oh god, I don't... So this is, I'm pretty sure this enemy, I don't know what it is. It's just roaming fireball trails. I'm pretty sure it's not the one that never appears in another game. Excuse me. Oh, that beeping is going to get really obnoxious. Ooh, we got a bomb. I wonder if the game wants us to use a bomb. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There we go. Can I bomb up here? Come on. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So now we saved a... Yeah, look at that door. That door over there, that's a key door. So we saved a key. Another thing about this game that no other Zelda game does, the keys aren't dungeon specific. I can leave here with 2 keys and use them, ooh, rupees, yay, in the next dungeon, which is pretty sweet. And in fact, later on in the game, there is a lion key item that I can use. Oh, here we go. Dodongo dislikes smoke. Okay, so Dodongo is the boss of this dungeon. Same as the Dodongos from Ocarina of Time. Gotta kill him with bombs. Why they chose to say smoke instead of bombs, I do not know. But they did. Whoop. Oh, jeez, I didn't think it was gonna spit me that far into the room. I need to go back 2 or 3 thoughts. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'd never played anything like this, and this game so affected little 5 or 6 year old me. Like the idea of exploration and adventure and all those kinds of things. A lot of that I picked up from these games. And it started, this really more than any other video game started my lifelong love of video games. So, Mom and Dad, if you want to find somebody to blame for the state I'm in at this age, you know, you go shout at Steph and Tyler. Have we been in everything? We have. So we have the boss, and we have the Triforce. Okay, like I said, Dodongos. We gotta make them eat these bombs. I think there's 3, maybe? I might be getting that mixed up with Link to the Past, though. Let's find out. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, and we gotta do 1 more. Oh, no! Really? Just 2? Wow. I was not expecting that. Wow, okay. Cool. Alright, we got another Triforce piece! Grab it. Ooh, and I think we have enough for the arrows now, too. Alright, the 3rd dungeon is just east of the starting area. So we'll head back that way, and hopefully we can... I got a little lost, but hopefully we can find that shop again and pick up the arrows on the way. Oh. There we go. Where was it? Over here? Yes. Okay, good. Cool. Oh, watch out. Just go. Just go. Just go. No, it doesn't have the arrows in it. Dang it. Okay. Find the other one. Does anybody remember where we left that shop? Ooh, outrun them. Okay, good. Whew, got a little concern there for a moment. That's not it. Oh, that's right. I was talking about my experiences with the game. This is desert. Yeah, don't want that. So yeah, formed a big part of what I like as far as sci-fi and fantasy goes, all that stuff. There's our shop. The other thing is, because I only got to play it 2 times a year, never got anywhere close to beating it, and my parents never bought it for me. I eventually bought it on what we're playing right now. We're using corded. We're playing this on the actual Nintendo console. We're not using an emulator. We're not playing it on the NES Classic. And we are playing the gold cartridge version because I am a man of class and style. I picked this up when I was in college. I didn't even have an NES at the time. I just picked it up because I knew I would someday. And a couple years back, probably 3 or 4 years back, I set out on, like, as one of my birthdays, I decided for this birthday I am going to beat... Oh, hold on. Let me show you. No, I'll get to that later. Let me finish this story before I forget it. Oh, God. That was... Hate you Tektites. I'm going to beat this game for my birthday, and I got all the way through it up until the final dungeon in Death Mountain, which looks like the map is just an entire, like, the other maps were certain areas. This is just a screen of rooms. It's a full square of rooms. Very confusing. I had to take a break for like a week, and when I came back, something had happened, and the save file was off of my cartridge. I think it's because like I said, what lets you save these games are the battery inside the cartridge. And like any battery, they wear out over time. I think the battery started to die, and I lost the save file footage. Or the save file. So after that, I was like, you know what? No, I can't do this. I can't do this all over again. So I just stopped playing, and I really haven't touched it since then. But we're doing it now. Ugh, the thing that keeps popping out of the water is a Zora. You'll notice they're not as pretty or sophisticated as they are in other games, later games. In this one, they're just dickholes. Alright, now that I finished the origin story, here's what's up with the bow and arrow. We have it. You can see there's no arrow count listed anywhere, though, right? And I don't know if it's the designers or the developers did it to save space or what, but in this game, the number of arrows you have is tied to the number of rupees you have. So, yep, see, used a rupee. Ah, used a rupee. Come on, I just want to... Used a rupee. Alright, we're done with that. Which, as a kid, it's very easy to not notice that. So, it did not take much to go from having a bunch of arrows to suddenly not only being broke, but having no arrows. Which, those you really need for some of the enemies later on. Ooh, no, you don't. That door leads to an old woman who does nothing until we bring her a note later on that we find later in the game. And then she will make potions, but we don't have it, so we're gonna ignore her. Oh, God. Speaking of the rupee thing, though, that's another way this game was kind of unique in the Zelda series. After this game, rupees kind of don't matter. You use them to buy a couple things, but they're really important in this one. The maximum number you can carry is like 255 or 260. We've already used them to buy a couple items. And later, oh God, I couldn't have gotten that first. Later, we can use them to buy a blue ring, which will change Link's tunic to blue. Oh God, don't get him. I don't want to hit any of these Armoses. There we go. Oh, thank God. It'll change Link's tunic to blue. More importantly, although actually I kind of prefer the blue. More importantly though, it improves our defense. So right now everything does full damage. Once we get that, everything does half damage. that ring costs 5 less than the maximum amount of rupees you can hold. So it's very important that you hang on to those. Level 3. Rupees after this game don't really matter again until a Link Between Worlds, where you have to rent all your items. And then if you die, you lose them, and you have to re-rent them. Okay, here's the bots. So we hit these guys, and they're going to split. Yeah, see? And they can recombine if we're not quick. But yeah. Which, again, was, like, you know, almost 30 years later. Which was a really, like, that was a really cool way to make rupees matter. You have to rent all your items. You don't get, you can go... Wait, no, that's the first game you can go to any dungeon. Okay, so Link Between Worlds is the first game after this one. You can go to any, there's no set path. You can go to any dungeon you want right off the bat. Well, almost right off the bat. You just need to have the appropriate item to get into it. Which is another thing. Ooh, look at, we got a Z. That's another thing. Later Zelda games, you get every dungeon, you get an item in it. And that item is vitally important to beating that dungeon. This game, you do get an item in every dungeon, but it's not, like, you don't need it to beat the boss. Changes very quickly after this game. Up until, oh, here we go. Okay, we got Dark Nuts. These guys, are one of the few enemies. Oh, there we go. Boomerang doesn't work on you. Gotta hit him in the back. And because the way this game, see, they just turn around. You never know when. Ugh. Never know when. Come on, you're gonna. Oop. Sorry, I'm super stressed right now. There we go. Whew. Huh. What was I saying? Oh yes, the item mechanic. Up until Link Between Worlds, in that game, you just need to rent the item you need to get into the dungeon, and then you use that item during the dungeon. Which is still kind of following the mechanic, but after that you have Breath of the Wild, where you can just go anywhere. You don't get specific items in the dungeons, you pick them up off of enemies. We are 4 rooms in and we have nothing. Which just goes to show you, like, for Breath of the Wild, they were really, ooh, there we go, really going back to the series' roots. I believe Breath of the Wild actually takes place in this game's timeline, which is something where... Oh, we got keys, don't we? We do have keys. Let's go this way. I'm not going to talk about it right now. We'll probably save that for next episode, just because I've already babbled quite a bit. Oh, God, no. Okay, I'm going to eat it in this room. Oh, there we go. Alright, you know what? We're going to cut it here, because we've done a lot. And while we're here, the only way to save this game is when you die. You can continue, you can retry, or you can go to save. So we're going to save it, and we're going to call it here. I am... Ooh, hold on. Camera! I'm so professional here with my setup. I am so glad I'm playing this game. I am so excited that you guys are along for the ride. I mean, I can't wait, honestly. It's like 3 in the morning right now, and I have so much energy just from playing this. I'm so excited. I love Zelda. You can't see it. There's a wall over here, just covered in Zelda stuff. I'm wearing a Zelda shirt. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Zelda's on my wedding ring. I don't actually have a tattoo, but I will someday. I love this game so much, and I am so excited to be on this ride with you guys. So, leave a like. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this as much as I am, because I know I'm going to have a blast. I will catch you guys later. save.